I never thought the day would come when my entire life would be turned upside down by the people I grew up with. After our parents passed away unexpectedly, everything seemed to be going smoothly at first. I thought we'd grieve together, support one another, but I was wrong. My sister, who I always trusted, suddenly inherited a house and $28 million. That was the moment I realized my family wasn't what I thought it was. At first, I tried to keep my composure. I congratulated her, told her I was happy for her, and even offered to help manage the estate. But her smile didn't reach her eyes. I remember the way she looked at me that first day after reading the will, as if she was seeing a stranger in the house we grew up in together. "You don't deserve any of this," she said coldly, with a smirk that made my stomach turn. "I've decided you're out. Pack your things." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Out of my own home? The home where we had shared every holiday, every birthday, every memory? I asked her why, and she simply laughed. "You'll figure it out." That was all. No explanation, no reason, just a command that shattered the last fragments of trust one had in my own blood. I spent the night in the guest house, staring at the walls that had witnessed my childhood, trying to make sense of betrayal. I had always been the quiet, responsible one, helping with bills, keeping in touch with relatives, making sure things ran smoothly. And yet, she treated me like I was a stranger, someone beneath her. The next morning, I decided I couldn't sit back and be treated like this. I remembered a conversation our parents had had with me years ago, something they'd whispered about protecting ourselves financially, always having our own path. They had taught me to be resourceful, to never rely entirely on others. And now, I had to put that lesson into action. I reached out to my legal advisor and began examining the will and the estate documents. What I discovered shocked me. While my sister legally inherited the house and the funds, she had overlooked one critical detail. The original business account my parents had set up years ago, the one in my name. A silent, overlooked inheritance of investments, stocks, and property, hidden from her knowledge. Armed with this knowledge, I took control. Within weeks, I consolidated the accounts, optimized investments, and grew the funds quietly. My sister had assumed I would just leave, broken and defeated. She had no idea that I had been building my empire right under her nose. Then came the confrontation. She stormed into the house one day, thinking I would plead or beg. Instead, I calmly showed her the portfolio, the returns, the properties I had acquired using the original accounts. Her face went pale as she realized the $28 million she had inherited was just a fraction of what I now controlled. "I always thought I was a smart one," she whispered, unable to meet my eyes. "You did all this?" I nodded. "I did exactly what I needed to survive, what I was taught. I didn't need your approval or your approval to succeed. Remember when you laughed at me for being too cautious? I guess caution pays off after all." From that moment on, everything changed. I didn't hate my sister. Well, not entirely. But I no longer allowed her manipulations to control my life. I had my independence, my own fortune, and the satisfaction of proving that betrayal and greed can be met with resilience, intelligence, and patience. Now, people often ask me how I survived the worst betrayal of my life. The answer is simple. Never underestimate yourself. Never rely completely on those who have betrayed you, and always have a plan. Life will test you in ways you never imagined. But those tests reveal who you really are. And as for my sister, she learned the hard way that underestimating someone she thought she could control was the biggest mistake of her life.